welcome to My Credit Sucks podcast, the podcast where we talk about the thing nobody wants to talk about, but everyone needs to hear. What's up, everyone? I'm Rolando Castro, founder of Elite Credit Group. And if you've ever felt judged, confused, or flat out hopeless about your credit, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. All right, today we got a pretty cool episode teed up for you guys. But I'm going to do things a little different. No myth busting. I'm not going to talk about credit score breakdowns. Today I want to talk about a book that I enjoy reading. And before you check out on me, just give me 2 minutes to explain. Because this book changed the way I think about money. And honestly, it changed the way I talk to my clients. The book is called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book, it came out in 2020, I believe, and it became one of the most talked about personal finance books of the last decade. But here's the thing, though. It's not a finance book. There's no spreadsheets, no complicated investment formulas, no jargon. It's a book about behavior and about why we do the things we do with money, even when we know better. And that hit me hard because in the line of work that I do, I sit across a lot of people who are smart, hardworking, good people. And guess what? They still struggle financially. And not because they're bad with numbers, but because nobody ever helped them understand the story they're carrying about money. Wow, that hits home, right? So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to be pulling out lessons that I think matter the most, especially where a lot of us are coming from, right? Lesson number 1, right? Nobody is crazy. The very first chapter in this book is called No One's Crazy, and the idea stopped me cold, okay? Housel says that the way we think about money was shaped by where you grew up, what your family went through, and what you saw and experienced as a child. And because of that, what looks irrational from the outside makes complete sense from the inside. So think about it. If you grew up in a house where money was always tight, okay, I know I did, where the lights got cut off. Yes, I experienced that many times. Where your parents stressed every time a bill came. Yes, you learned something about money. You learned it was scarce. You learned it could disappear. You learned to hold on to it before or spend it fast before it was gone, right? I can agree to all that. I'm a huge testament to that. And guess what? That's not a character flaw. That's survival. Because here's the thing. Those lessons follow you into adulthood, into your spending, into your credit decisions, into why some of us avoid looking at our finances altogether. But here's the aha moment. Guess what? You're not broken. You are responding to what you learn. And what you learn can be unlearned. All right? Lesson number 2. Rich versus wealthy. It's not the same thing. This one's, it's one of my favorite parts of the whole book because Housel draws the sharp line between being rich and being wealthy. And they're not the same thing. Rich is visible. It's the car, the watch, the vacations on Instagram, the income, the house, money coming in. Rich is what people can see. Wealth, being wealthy, that's invisible. It's what you don't spend. It's the savings account nobody knows about. The investment quietly growing in the background. Wealthy is options. It's the ability to say no to things you don't want, to handle an emergency without panicking, to make choices from a position of strength instead of, guess what? Desperation. And here's the wild part. Some of the most rich-looking people, are one bad month away from a crisis. And some of the most quietly wealthy people you've never guessed. Ask yourself, am I building richness or wealth? Because one gets you likes on social media, the other gets you freedom. And freedom, real financial freedom, starts with the fundamentals. Credit is one of those fundamentals. You see, a great credit score is a wealth tool. I've always said this. Your credit score, your credit's not a license for you to go out and shop and acquire all this debt. It is a tool to build wealth. It lowers your interest rates. It opens doors and it gives you options. That's not rich. That's wealthy. Lesson number 3, compounding is the closest thing to magic. And I agree with that. Okay, this one's going to blow your mind just a little bit. Housel dedicates a whole chapter to compounding. And the example he uses is Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of our time. And, of course, one of the richest people on the planet. And Housel points out that the reason Buffett is so wealthy isn't just that he's a great investor. We all know that. It's that he started at age 10. And guess what? He hasn't stopped. Did you know that over 80% of Warren Buffett's wealth was accumulated after his 65th birthday? 65th. And it's not because he got smarter, because time did the work. So I know some of you might be thinking, well, Rolando, I'm not Warren Buffett. I don't have money to invest. I'm just trying to fix my credit, right? I hear you. But here's how this applies to your situation right now, okay? Compounding, it doesn't just apply to investment. It applies to habits. It applies to your credit. Every on-time payment compounds. Every point you add to your credit score opens a slightly better door than the one before it. Every month you stay consistent, the math starts working for you instead of against you. So you don't need to go from a 550 credit score to 750 overnight. No, you just need to start and stay consistent. Time does the rest. You have no idea how many people, and I just experienced this last night, how many people get discouraged? How many people want to stop the credit repair process? How many people want their money back because it's been 60 days and the credit hasn't improved? The credit hasn't gotten better. We haven't completed the program. And are you kidding me? Like, no, it doesn't work that way. You need to be consistent. And this is the challenge. Pick one thing you can do consistently starting this month. One bill set to autopay. Keep one credit card under 30% utilization. One small step that if you can repeat it every single month without fail, guess what? That's compounding. And it's your way of building wealth. That's simple. Compounding. Lesson number 4, you are not your financial past. All right. This is where the book got really personal for me because, as I mentioned earlier, I've experienced no lights, borrowing light from the neighbor and 8 o'clock it's cut off. I've experienced taking cold showers because they cut the gas. I've experienced having no water. I mean, it's just the way I grew up. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. And, not that my parents were bad people. My dad worked his butt off, but, decided to have 5 kids and we get expensive. But Housel talks about how we all carry a narrative about money, and we do. It's a story we tell ourselves about who we are financially. And guess what? Most of the time, that story was written by someone else, by circumstances that we didn't choose by growing up, right? We didn't choose. I didn't have the ability to go work and at 8 years old and, when I was 10, when the lights were getting cut off, I didn't. I had to just suck it up. But that stuck with me growing up, and so I think about the clients I work with every single day. People who say things like, I've always been bad with money, or my family, we never had good credit. So, I don't expect to have good credit either. Or I messed up too many times. It's too late for me. I'm in my 40s, my 50s. What, why bother now? And, that's not a credit problem. That's a story problem. And Housel's whole book is basically saying, your past financial behavior makes sense given where you came from, right? How you grew up. But it shouldn't define where you're going. You see, behavior, that's the thing that we can't change. Habits, we can't change. We can't change the past, but we should learn from it. And when behavior change, guess what? Our outcomes change. And I've seen it with my own eyes thousands of times. People who wrote themselves off, who thought the door was permanently closed. They just say, I give up. It turned around completely. Not because they got lucky, because they changed their story. So here's something that I want you to do, okay? It's another challenge. And I've done this before, and I'm going to talk about this on my next episode. Write down one money belief that you have that might be holding you back. Just one money belief that you have that might be holding you back. Just one. Something like, I'll never be good with credit, or saving money is impossible for me. Look at it and ask yourself, where did that come from? And is it actually true? Guess what? You're going to find out that it's not. Okay, it's not. And you have the ability to change. That's the beautiful thing about us humans, is that we have the ability to change today, which will then have an effect on our tomorrow. Okay? So look, guys, I recommend a lot of things to my clients, but this book is one that I tell almost everyone needs to read. And if, and I talk about this when I'm networking and I'm around family. You don't have to be my client for me to recommend this book to you, but I recommend it not because it's going to give you a 5-step formula to get rich. No. See, people have it wrong. People want to get rich, but they don't understand that rich begins in the mind. You need to change your habits, because think about this, okay? What if God was to give you $10 million right now? Would you know how to invest it? Or are you going to go out and just spend it all? This book is going to help you understand yourself. And it's that missing piece for most people. It was for me, and I know it'll be for you as well. So you can know everything about credit scores and still not fix you if your relationship with money is working against you. You can have good income and still feel broke if you're confusing rich with wealthy. You can have the best intentions and still make the same mistakes if nobody ever helped you examine the beliefs that drive your financial decisions. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Pick it up. I promise you'll see yourself in it. All right, guys, this pretty much wraps up the episode. If you enjoyed the episode and you stayed to the end, I thank you. And I hope that today's episode got you thinking about your own financial story and about where you are with your credit right now, where you want to be. And let's have a real conversation about it, right? My team offers a free credit analysis. We'll pull your credit report. We'll walk you through it with you in plain English. We'll build you a real roadmap. No pressure. No judgment. Visit my website at myelitecreditgroup.com or text READY to 323-627-6345 and we'll get you scheduled. That's a wrap on today's episode of My Credit Sucks. If this helped you, share it. Text it to someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review if you have a quick minute. It generally helps more people find the show. Again, guys, I am your host and your credit coach, Rolando Castro. I'll see you next week. And until then, take one step forward. That's all it takes. Take care.